Hey there, eh? Thinking about heading north to the Great White North? Canada, with its stunning landscapes and friendly faces, is a dream destination for many. But before you trade your current digs for an igloo, let's talk about the cost of living. Canada is known for its maple syrup and universal healthcare, but also for some robust prices. We'll break it all down for you, province by province. From Toronto to the Rocky Mountains, each province offers a unique blend of lifestyle and affordability. Dive into housing costs, grocery bills, healthcare expenses, and even transportation costs. We'll uncover some hidden costs, like winter heating bills. By the end, you'll navigate the Canadian cost of living like a pro. So, grab a double-double, get comfy, and let's explore the true cost of living in the Great White North. Alright, let's talk housing, shall we? Unless you plan on living in an igloo, housing will be your biggest expense. It's a real doozy in some parts of Canada. Vancouver, British Columbia, is one of the most expensive places to live. Sky-high condo prices and a competitive rental market. Alberta offers slightly more affordable housing. Toronto's housing costs can cause sticker shock. Smaller cities in Ontario offer more reasonable options. Quebec has more affordable housing with European charm. Quebec might just be your new best friend for housing. Now that you've got a roof, hypothetically, over your head, let's talk about filling your fridge. Because as much as we Canadians love our maple syrup, a balanced diet requires a few more ingredients. Overall, grocery prices in Canada are generally on par with other developed countries. However, depending on where you choose to settle, you might experience some sticker shock in the produce aisle. Big cities, especially those in the western provinces, tend to have higher grocery costs due to transportation and distribution factors. Ontario and Quebec, with their agricultural heartlands, often boast slightly lower grocery prices, particularly for locally sourced products. But don't expect to be swimming in maple syrup just yet. Even in Canada, certain items can put a dent in your grocery budget. Pro tip, embrace seasonal eating and take advantage of local farmers markets to score the freshest produce at the best prices. Alright, let's talk about one of Canada's proudest achievements, universal healthcare. That's right, folks, in this neck of the woods, we believe everyone deserves access to quality healthcare, regardless of their bank account. Now, before you get too excited, it's important to note that universal doesn't necessarily mean free. While our publicly funded healthcare system covers essential medical services, like doctor visits and hospital stays, there are some costs you'll need to factor in. Each province and territory manages its own healthcare system, so there are some variations in coverage and wait times. For example, you might encounter longer wait times for elective procedures in certain provinces. Additionally, some services, like dental, vision, and prescription drugs, are not typically covered by public health care. That's where private health insurance comes in. Many Canadians opt for private insurance to supplement their public coverage, covering things like dental care, vision care, prescription drugs, and semi-private hospital rooms. The cost of private insurance varies depending on your age, health status, and the level of coverage you choose. Section 5. Getting around. Transportation costs. Coast to coast. Okay, you've got a roof, you've got groceries, and you've got healthcare covered. Now, let's talk about getting around this vast and beautiful country. Transportation costs in Canada can vary widely depending on where you live and how you prefer to travel. In major cities like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, public transportation is your best bet for navigating the urban jungle. Monthly transit passes can set you back a decent chunk of change, but they're still more affordable than owning a car in the long run. Plus, you'll avoid the headache of traffic jams and parking nightmares. If you're living in a smaller city or rural area, owning a car might be a necessity. But be prepared to factor in expenses like car payments, insurance, gas, which can be pricey, and maintenance. And let's not forget about those pesky winter tires, which are essential for navigating snowy and icy conditions. Canada also has a decent domestic flight network, but be prepared for some hefty airfares, especially if you're traveling long distances. If you're on a budget, consider alternative options like train travel or road tripping. Just be sure to pack your patience and a good playlist. Section 6. Beyond the basics, unique provincial cost considerations. Now that we've covered the big-ticket items, let's talk about some unique cost factors that can catch you off guard depending on which province you choose to call home. First up, let's talk about the weather. Canada is known for its diverse climate, from the mild, rainy winters of Vancouver to the bone-chilling, snow-covered landscapes of the prairies. Heating costs can put a serious dent in your budget during those long winter months, especially if you're living in an older, less energy-efficient home. Next, let's talk taxes. Canada has a multi-layered tax system, with federal and provincial taxes to consider. Provincial income tax rates can vary significantly, so be sure to factor that into your budget. Some provinces, like Alberta, are known for their lower tax rates, while others, like Ontario and Quebec, have higher rates. Finally, let's not forget about those little extras that can add up over time. Things like entertainment, dining out, and recreational activities can vary in cost depending on where you live. Big cities tend to have more entertainment options, but they also come with higher price tags. Section 7. The affordability spectrum, ranking the provinces. All right, it's time to address the elephant in the room again. Which Canadian provinces are the most and least expensive to live in? At the top of the expense chart, we have Vancouver, British Columbia, consistently ranked as the most expensive city in Canada. High housing costs are the main culprit, but groceries, transportation, and entertainment also contribute to the hefty price tag. Toronto, Ontario, and Calgary, Alberta, are vying for the second and third spots on the most expensive podium. Both cities offer a high quality of life, but come with a high cost of living, particularly when it comes to housing. On the other end of the spectrum, we have more affordable provinces like New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Quebec. These provinces offer a more laid-back lifestyle and lower housing costs, making them attractive options for those seeking a more budget-friendly existence. Section 8. The price of prosperity, weighing costs and benefits. Now, before you swear off Vancouver forever or start packing your bags for New Brunswick, it's important to remember that cost of living is just one piece of the puzzle. Each province offers a unique blend of lifestyle, job opportunities, and cultural experiences. While Vancouver and Toronto might be expensive, they also boast thriving job markets, diverse populations, and a plethora of cultural attractions. On the other hand, more affordable provinces might offer a slower pace of life, closer-knit communities, and access to stunning natural beauty. Ultimately, the best place to live in Canada depends on your individual priorities, lifestyle, and financial situation. Section 9. Planning your Canadian adventure. Cost-effective strategies. So, you've weighed the pros and cons, and you're ready to take the plunge and experience life in Canada. Congratulations! Now let's talk about some cost-effective strategies to make your Canadian adventure a bit easier on the wallet. First and foremost, do your research. We've given you a good starting point, but take the time to research specific cities or towns that interest you. Look into housing costs, job opportunities, transportation options, and the overall cost of living in those areas. Consider your lifestyle and priorities. Are you willing to live in a smaller town or city to save on housing costs? Are you comfortable relying on public transportation, or do you need to own a car? Don't be afraid to negotiate. Whether you're renting an apartment or buying a car, don't be afraid to negotiate the price. The worst they can say is no. Embrace a frugal lifestyle. Look for free or low-cost activities in your community. Cook at home more often. Take advantage of free events and festivals. By being mindful of your spending and making smart choices, you can stretch your budget further and enjoy all that Canada has to offer. Section 10. Conclusion. Embracing the Canadian experience, costs and all. Well, folks, there you have it. A crash course in the cost of living across Canada. We've covered everything from housing hurdles to grocery games, healthcare horizons to transportation triumphs and tribulations. While the cost of living in Canada can be high in certain areas, It's important to remember that this country offers an exceptional quality of life with friendly people, stunning natural beauty, and a strong sense of community. So, whether you're drawn to the bustling streets of Toronto, the majestic mountains of Alberta, or the charming towns of the East Coast, there's a place for you in Canada. Just be sure to pack your sense of adventure, your love of maple syrup, and maybe a few extra loonies, that's Canadian for dollars, for good measure.